how bulletproof is a backpack full of textbooks? And before you sound off in the comments, yes, we're talking about active shooters in a school zone. Will textbooks save your life? And we're going to talk about that. First up, birdshot, 22, 380 auto, 9mm, 223, 7.62 by 39. And if all else fails, let's test 50 BMG. Set our backpack downrange, and inside we have 1,200 pieces of printer paper, so we can easily count exactly how much we went through. Now, usually these videos are a bit silly, but this one is serious. First up, birdshot out of our G-Force 1 shotgun. Taking a look at our target, we can see the backpack is peppered, but the pellets only went through about 17 pieces of paper. Next up, 22 out of our Bursa Thunder 22. But you might be surprised that school shootings actually are not very common. Though some will argue the stats in weird ways, there's around 50 to 80 deaths per year. Taking a look inside our backpack, at about 100 pieces of paper, we stopped the 22. You can actually see the chunks of lead inside. Next up, we've got 380 auto, but getting back to the stats, here are 5 things that actually cause more deaths than shootings or mass casualty events inside of schools. One is going to be domestic homicide with around 2,000 deaths per year. Another is going to be gang-related homicides at about 3,000 deaths, while road rage incidents cause about 1,300 deaths per year, and workplace violence resulting in over 1,000. Firing a 380 auto. Dissecting 380, you can see that we went through about 200 pieces of paper and are catching fragments of that 380 auto. Now let's move to 9mm out of the Canik MC9L. So my question is, why do you hear about school shootings but not the road rage deaths? 9mm. We punched in right here, and 500 pieces of paper actually stopped that bullet. Here it is, just a little worse for the wear. Next up, 223 out of the CMMG Descent. Now that we've established the media has blown school shootings out of proportion and they're kind of rare to ever happen in the first place, we do have to say that they do happen, though it might not be the problem that everybody makes it out to be. So how do you defend against it? 223. My recommendation would not be textbooks. My recommendation would be scare the bad guys away from going to schools in the first place. For example, if teachers who wanted to carry guns were allowed to, school shooters might think twice. Another way to do this is armed police at schools. As a kid, I thought going to the police department was actually kind of cool, seeing all the gear that they had and the cars that they drove. But getting back to this, it actually punched through while having just enough energy to tear through the back of the backpack, but not punch a nice clean hole. So here are my thoughts. School shootings are incredibly rare, but if you were to be in a school shooting, you wouldn't want 1,250 pieces of paper between you and a rifle. You would want a teacher or a police officer who had access to a firearm and could put a threat down. And heck, with how rare they are, and if shooters knew that there would be armed people in the school, I bet those numbers would drop even more.